race at Dentsville was one of the best races of the Dentsville weekend. That race unfortunately had to end under caution due to Eddie Johns winning the race after Jared Webler crashing coming into turn 3, coming to the white flag. However, our second race of the season also heads to another wide track, this time at the Atlantic City Speedrome, a 1.2-mile facility that was built from 2005 to 2007 and made its NOVAR appearance on the schedule last year. This track, that race was a very good race and had a competitive ending to it, with Alan Kimmel taking that race victory. Both Alan Kimmel and Jared Weller could defend their positions and could also have a rematch for the 2012 version. And also, with the big storylines that actually happened during the weekend is that there may be some major overhaul in qualifying races after what NOVAR saw the result of what could happen. The new rules should be revealed shortly after the conclusion of this race, as they are specifically targeting about cars leading the most laps and failing to qualify, and also that they will also possibly have unlimited past champion provisionals allowed in the race, as this will probably stir up some controversy along the way. And now I'm going to head it off to Kendall Johnson for the race recap. The flagpole will go to car number 59 of Shane Harden. Harden will lead the field out to the green flag as Brian Dawson to car number 64 immediately makes a move on the 59 of Shane Harden. So Shane Harden does not even get to the back straightaway without the lead, and Brian Dawson will get to the lead. It's Mike Hogan in car number 7. Looks like he'll make a challenge for the lead. David Scott in the 18 is right there in third, as Hogan, he will get to the lead and will apparently lead the first lap. Hogan will then complete the pass going into the back straightaway, and then Brian Dawson plays in second while Mike Hogan is leading. The first yellow flag of the event happened on lap number 3 as Billy Garber, Daniel Selmon made contact, and a really big crash piles up as we got several cars around. There goes Jake Carroll, Blake Stephen Papias, James Olsen Jr., Logan Chen, Keith Hales. Another angle, looks like the 0499 got together, and then somehow the 6 at 25 got together as they all spin around, as apparently that's pretty much the same clip shown again. I don't know why that was the case, but anyways, here's car number 33 of Cameron Brooks, as he does a really good job of winning it. Your Dentsville 250 winner Eddie Johns is collected, and then James Olsen Jr. is involved in and Cameron Brooks does a nice example on why you should use the brakes for avoiding crashes. As here is a perspective of another angle. This is a closer up angle, and apparently there was contact between those cars. There's Jake Carroll sliding backwards. I don't know who made the contact between the 25 and the Harper's mess. We'll have to see about that. Here's a far up angle. There you see the contact, and then there is how it all pile in. Some cars do a really good job going on the concrete area of that track. This track's a mix of a concrete and a paved racetrack. As meanwhile, Mike Hogan in car number 7 leads on this restart, with Alan Kimmel in 88 second, Brian Wilson third, Luke Warren fourth, and Brian Dawson in 5th. Kimmel was your defending race winner at this track. He led the most laps of that race and started towards the back of the field. However, in this race, he started towards the front, and it looks like he will successfully take the lead and lead at least one lap to show that he is led back-to-back here in Atlantic City. Brian Wilson tries to go for second, but Luke Warren gets there, and then we see some lap cars entering the pit road. And near contact between the 14 and 90 as we're going to head into turn number 3, as the 14 will complete the pass on the 90, so will Brian Dawson. Our second caution would happen towards the back of this back. Walter Youth gets into Walter Green, and there it goes! Mark Magillo, Daniel Salomon, Casey Lester is piled in. And then, Kyrie Youth had nowhere to go. So a big crash, and Casey Lester gets drilled hard by, I believe that's the 50 of Blake Battagliana. And here's it from Damon Scott's perspective. He almost makes it through, but gets clipped by Walter Green. So Damon Scott, who got a 12th place run, locking him into this event. He's probably going to drop out because of the 91 getting in. And then, oh, he gets hard hit by Casey Lester into the back of the 50. Here's Mark Mongill's perspective. Gets swiped by the 39 of Walter Green. And Mike Hogan, I believe, did a really good job of avoiding that. I believe he was right there. Mongillo comes down and almost gets hit by the 50. So Blake Taylor almost took out a couple of good cars. Here's from Ryan Wilson's perspective. He gets in it, and he actually makes contact with the 7 car of Hogan, but does a really close job of avoiding spots, even though you will lose spots. At least avoiding the wreck's better than losing spots. Then there you see he will lose to Mac Hamlin, and then we'll take caution. On the restart, you see, and here's from Casey Lester's spot, excuse me. He was right along and then just had nowhere to go. Into the back of the 18 of Daniel Salomon, and then got clipped by Scott Johnson, and then gets clipped by Blake Battagliano. We have no word on Casey Lester's medical condition, but hopefully he is okay. The 64, Brian Dawson, is your race leader with Luke Warren in second, Shane Hart in third, Alan Kimmel fourth, and Jared Webler in fifth. Webler was actually the second place finisher to Kimmel in this exact event last year. Reason that he almost won this race but got passed on the last lap, as the other driver, Cody White, failed to qualify for this event. Brian Dawson, on the other hand, as I was trying to say, Brian Dawson, on the other hand, has not had the best 2011 season, running poorly towards the midfield and finishing about, I believe, 30th in points. This year's has started off way better for Dawson, even though we have only completed 2 races so far, as he will lose the lead to Luke Warren in car 14, Shane Hart in the 59, your pole sitter, and you can call that. But other than that, Brian Dawson's doing a really good job this year. Then Shane Hart in the 59 is going to make a charge on Luke Warren. It's going to pass him by before the lead, as they're going to head into turn 3. Evan Brooks in car number 95 is also making his first start of the year. He's actually running in 4th spot, which has a really good job. Hart would get to lap traffic, and this would end up producing to be the next caution. Luke Warren sideswipes Shane Hart and puts him into the wall. Car 59 spins. Nobody hits him. So car 59 is alright. So car 59 of Shane Hart will continue on going, as only minor damage was done. Silver cars fell out. We're actually at the tail end of the lead lap. Alan Kimmel was your race leader, but Jared Webler trying to see if that head cyclone can do something. David Payton almost makes a move, but I believe the 17 gets stuck behind. Brian Kittles and Moses holds up most of the field, and Webler and Payton are driving away. As Webler pits, this will put David Payton in the lead. However, Webber was lucky because there was a caution. Your defending champ, Shane Hart III, turns Thomas Lawyers, and he turns himself, as there is a crash on the back straightaway. That's our next caution. And now, Brian Kittleson causes more trouble as he spins on the front stretch and causes a crash right there. And Mike Hogan, Walter Green, and then Cameron Brooks, Scott Harper. So an incident that should have never happened. There's C.C. Gordon Miller. Billard was trying to slow down, but then gets wiped by Scott Harper, and then he gets rolled over by Mac Hamlin. Car 91 would continue on going to the pits before he had to retire. David Payton in the 24 would lead on this restart with Ike Jace Jr. in second, Brian Dawson third, James Wilson Jr. fourth, and I think that's Carson Frank in fifth. Car 24 is getting to a good, comfortable lead over the 09 of, looks like pretty much the top 6 cars broke away from the entire pack. There's the Ike Jace Jr. takes the lead away from the 24. I see car number 09 gets to the lead. David Payton is in second, James Wilson Jr. in third. I see Brian Dawson. Wilson tries to battle it out for the lead with David Payton. Payton has actually not been doing. He finished 15th in the points last year, but has not had the season he wanted. Meanwhile, Ike Jace Jr., ever since he entered NOVAR, all he has been bad luck. Even though he almost won at California, but that was because of bad luck. Hopefully this race could prove to be the same, that Ike Jace Jr. is a contender when it comes to this event, as he is gets a really good gap over the top, maybe 6 drivers, as Ike G Jr. car number 09 get to the lead once again, and he is already pulled away from everybody. There's the gap. That's Carson Frank in second. Carson Frank has not had a great 2012 season. Has not had the best 2011 season with Menards backing him. He left Menards, then left that team to go to the Casey Lester organization. Our next caution come out on lap 51, and Walter Green gets turned by David Payton, and then Carson Brooks gets shot down on the racetrack as Payton comes back, and then there you see Carson Brooks slides back up. I see the camera goes psycho as they try to get Carson Brooks, excuse me. And then on the restart, Tashiro Hensito led on that restart, but he had to pit, so Brian Wilson then inherited the race lead to Ike to get the race lead, and then Ike J Jr. powers by the 90 to get to the race lead. So car number 09 gets to the lead. The 11 of James Wilson Jr. is also there. Our next caution, Evan Brooks, Corey Von Delga, and Cameron Brooks all make contact, and those 3 spin. The 95, 23, and 33 all for different teams. All 4 crashed each other. That's kind of weird to see that happening at a track like this. Ike J Jr. car number 09 led on that restart with James Wilson Jr. in second. Shane Bliss in third, Brian Dawson fourth, and Brian Wilson car number 90 in fifth. Ike J Jr. is still leading. This is probably the best performance he's had since 2011 in California. Before that, that was pretty much his only best performance. So Ike J Jr. is doing another stellar run. James Wilson Jr. car number 11 has always been, to say it positive, to try to not say negatively, he got screwed out of all of his wins that he could have had. He had Darlington, but somehow ran into the wall, and then had Texas Worldwide got a terrible restart, and now another one could be fading if he does not get the momentum that he needs. Shane Bliss, car number 42, is going to go for second. Tashiro Hensito is in third. Chandler Blake in fourth. Shane Bliss in the 42 is actually doing a better job than what he did last year. Last year he failed to qualify for a couple of races, but this year is doing a lot better. He finished, I believe, inside the top 10, and then tonight is going to be no different. Today is going to be no different. Tashiro Hensito gets to second, and car number 97 of Hensito get to the lead, as this will be a really close battle, as this may start to seem like a close battle. Car number 97 tries to get up there with Ike J Jr. Another caution will come out. Luke Warren dumps the 39 of Walter Green. Oh, Brian Kilson! And Brian Wilson and Alan Kimmel get collected. And oh, Kimmel gets hit hard. Let's take a look from another angle. Alan Kimmel almost got through, but gets hit and clipped. He spins and then gets hit by Mike Hogan. And then gets hit by Brian Wilson and Mark Mongillo. Car number 90 is going over. And Shane Clark the third plows into the 90. The 09 Ike J Jr. is race leader with Cameron Brooks in second. Shane Bliss in third. Brian Dawson fourth. James Wilson Jr. in fifth. Car number 33 of Cameron Brooks has not been a contender, even though he's caused a couple of wrecks. But other than that, he has been up front running all day. As you see, here comes the number 42 of Shane Bliss. He will go for second, just like what he did the previous restart. As you see, car number 33 has some minor damage, but not a lot to that 33 that would have affected a lot. But he has some damage from some of those incidents, while Ike J Jr. pulls away to a comfortable gap, as he gets a good gap over Shane Bliss and Brian Dawson as they battle it out for second. As here they come into turn number 1, and we have another yellow, and it's another case of Walter Green being dumped, this time involving Jared Webler in the process. Ike J Jr. Oh, that's a coincidence. Here's a novel concept. I thought of a novel concept that happened. Ike J Jr. lead on the restart, with Chandler Blake second, Brian Dawson third, Tashiro Hensito in fourth, and where's Shane Bliss to get second? Well, I'm not sure, but IJ Jr. pitting! So, I don't know if that was poor pit strategy by the 09, but he has relinquished the lead to Chandler Blake as Tercero Hencito gets to second over the 64 Brian Dawson. And now, the number 97 of Tercero Hencito may go for the lead in his Pontiac. Here he comes to the inside. And car 97 will get to the lead. However, there was a crash. Brian Kittleson takes out Chandler Blake. David Payton's collected. Carson Perrick is collected. Oh, IJ Jr. The car that has led the most laps is collected. Oh! Gets plowed into by somebody. I do not know who that was, but he got plowed into by somebody. Here's IJ Jr. Tries to go low. Has nowhere to go from David Payton. And then tries to come back down. It gets drilled by the 55 of Eddie Johns. And Keith Hales in car number 27 is also rolling in that crash. So, IJ Jr. goes from dominating the race to now being crashed in turn 3. Car 97 of Tercero Hencito led on that restart with James Wilson Jr. in second. Cameron Brooks in third. And Shane Bliss in the 5th position. Brian Dawson 4th. I'm sorry for that little mix-up right there. This would be the battle. All 5 would break away as Hencito, Hencito, Wilson, and Dawson are all looking for their first wins. Brooks and Bliss are going to go for... Actually, Bliss is going for his second win, while Brooks is going to go for his third win. Cameron Brooks will get to the lead, and from this point, it would actually be it would primarily become a drag race between the 33 of Cameron Brooks and the 64 of... As Hencito leads going into that pack, but these two would be left to duel it out. Cameron Brooks in the 33 and Brian Dawson in the 64. As now, Brooks has the advantage over Dawson. For mysterious reasons, here is Cameron Brooks in the 33 and the 64 Brian Dawson, as they're going to head into turn number 3. This is the battle for the lead. Actually, excuse me right there. So the battle for the lead is continuing on. Here is, this is coming with about a couple laps to go, and this is actually with a couple laps to go. Cameron Brooks in the 33. Brian Dawson, he's all over that back bumper, that 33 car, but can Dawson make a move? As he tries to get to the inside, Cameron Brooks makes a move to the inside. And that will probably help the 33 of Cameron Brooks, as here they come into turn number 3. Cameron Brooks gets it a little bit high. Dawson gets it a little bit deep. However, looks like no momentum difference has happened this time. So it will be between these two cars trying to go for the win. Here they come. This time will be the white flag, I think. And coming to the white flag, Cameron Brooks is leading. Can Brian Dawson mount a charge? Going into one. Brooks gets high. The 64 gets low. However, Brooks gets the run. And Cameron Brooks, that's the advantage he needs going into turns 3 and 4. Unless if something bad happens. Car 33, if Cameron Brooks will get his third career NOVAR Verizon Cup Series win at Atlantic City.